Pinnacle's upcoming concert of Time and Space is set for release in 1 week.
The Cedar Falls Public Safety Office undergoes more changes.
And Wartburg's athletic success looks to carry into the winter season. This is Night Vision News.
Good morning and welcome to Night Vision News. I'm Courtney Moser.
And I'm Sophie Reeder. Thank you for joining us.
One vocal ensemble is set apart from many of the other choirs here at Wartburg College.
Wartburg College's Pinnacle is a lesser-known vocal ensemble. The ensemble was founded in 2017 by Wartburg College alumni Chris Hale and Nate Lang.
So Pinnacle is a small 16-voice ensemble that mainly focuses on avant-garde or experimental music of typically modern day.
In addition to singing contemporary and unique pieces, the ensemble is a lab choir, which means the group sings songs that have been composed by Wartburg College students.
So when you look at all of our other ensemble choirs, they tend to focus on music that you would typically hear. So composers that try to stay in the normal bounds of what music is. And Pinnacle tends to focus more on the avant-garde, so stuff that includes overtone singing or weird vowel shapes or just experimental ways to use the voice.
The group was created to be unique and sing music that is not found in a typical choir on a college campus. Any student can audition for the vocal ensemble.
If they can prove that they can sing the music, then we are happy to take them. It doesn't matter where they've come from, it doesn't matter what they've done. We would just like to embrace them and welcome them into our family.
Earlier in November, Pin and Tonic took place in the Chapel Commons. Pin and Tonic is an event put on by the ensemble that invites the community to take part in music, food, drink, and discussion. The event occurs in both terms prior to the fall and winter term concerts.
So Pin and Tonic is a way for us to sit down and have a social conversation while presenting some of our pieces and hearing some solo voices from the group.
Pinnacle's upcoming concert of Time and Space will take place at 7 p.m. Friday, November 15th in the chapel. For Night Vision News, I'm Alexa Ganzeveld.
For more information on Pinnacle, go to their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts.
This past Saturday, Wartburg welcomed Japanese poet Takakao Arai on campus. Arai is one of the residents at University of Iowa's International Writers Program this semester. She was joined by U of I students who have translated her poetry into English. The event also included a discussion about the art form of poetry and the differences that can occur across translation. Seaman Chair in World Communications, Dr. Joyce Boss, found hopes that students came away from the event with a deeper love for poetry.
I hope it makes people motivated, first of all, to write poetry, and not just to write it, but to perform it, and perhaps to form collaborations between students, between people of different languages and linguistic and cultural backgrounds, and play around a little bit with translation projects.
The 2019 elections took place this week, with Waverly declaring multiple local positions when citizens took to the polls on Tuesday. This election cycle spelled significant change for the city government, with all incumbent positions up for re-election being overturned by their opponents. The scuffle for mayor culminated with Adam Hoffman taking the position from incumbent Dean Soash at 1,397 votes to 1,249.
The Ward 2 council seat went to Chris Glazer, landing 361 votes, topping Mike Gardner's 252. The Ward 4 council seat was also overturned, going to Heather Beaufort from Mike Scherer at 302 votes to 253.
Finally, the city council at-large seat was flipped from incumbent Edith Waldstein to Matthew Schneider with 1,341 votes versus Waldstein's 1,290, a margin of only 51 votes. Coming up after the break, police and fire departments in Cedar Falls have made a big change, but not without controversy.
know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
A decision regarding the Cedar Falls Police and Fire Departments has changed how the city responds to emergencies, for better and for worse. Night Vision News' Nathan Stephanie went to learn more.
In 2014, Cedar Falls merged its police and fire departments into one joint public safety office. Instead of individual police officers and firefighters, Cedar Falls now has cross-trained public safety officers. This summer, that office received a new building as an official public safety office, housing both departments, where Fire Station Number 2 once stood.
I think the program's definitely been effective. There are definitely people that don't like the program. They wish we had a traditional fire department and traditional police department that have nothing to do with each other. But the truth is there's different ways to provide law enforcement and fire protection for your community.
The response to the merger has been mixed. After the original merger, 14 firefighters resigned or retired from the department. The department came under further criticism when a former fire chief said the cross-training was unsafe and has led to issues with staffing and emergency response.
I see the public safety officer model and the cross-training staying around. I see our people gaining more experience, having more efficiencies with it. One of the efficiencies that we definitely tout is that we like in this facility, when there's a firefighter, a public safety officer that's a firefighter that's not actively engaged in something in the firefighter end of the building, they can go down the lobby and help people who come here for police services or report a crime if all the police are out on the street.
The issue seeped into the recent mayoral race, which had 3 candidates, each with different opinions on the office. Mayor-elect Rob Green said as part of his campaign platform he supports only some aspects of the public safety office and wants to evaluate where the city should move next. For Night Vision News, I'm Nathan Stephanie.
This is an ongoing story, and we will continue to bring you updates as it evolves.
A University of Northern Iowa organization, the Racial and Ethnic Coalition, or REC, launched a social media campaign called UNI is Not an Ally, confronting the UNI administration over the misrepresentation of minorities on campus last Friday. The group launched accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, releasing testimonials of their own perceived misrepresentations. The movement started with a student-organized Waka Flocka concert that took place on campus last February. UNI pulled public ticket sales shortly after the announcement of the concert due to worry of gang violence. Minority groups on campus felt offended due to what they considered secrecy and miscommunication surrounding the event. As a result, the REC was formed. Since then, the organization has felt ignored and started the movement UNI is Not an Ally as a way to make their issue public. Faculty leadership released a statement in support of the movement, along with other campus organizations. As of today, UNI has not released a statement surrounding the issue. We will update the story as it progresses.
A college student delivering donuts has the Krispy Kreme blessing. Iowan Jason Gonzalez started delivering Krispy Kreme donuts to people in Minnesota after the last store closed there. Gonzalez got the idea while driving south to Iowa. Since then, he has frequently made the drive from Minnesota to Clive, Iowa, picking up the donuts to sell in the Twin Cities. When Krispy Kreme caught wind of his business, they shut it down. But now, after outpouring support from Gonzalez's customers, the company overturned their decision. They are currently working on a deal to make the college a student and independent contractor. Well, Wartburg was hit with some unexpected snow this week. Courtney, could we be dealing with some more winter weather?
There is sure to be more winter weather coming up, but looking ahead at our 7-day forecast, there's going to be mostly partly cloudy skies throughout the week. Beginning today, we'll see a high of 36 degrees with a low of 16. Saturday, tomorrow will be our warmest opportunity for the rest of the week with a high of 46 degrees, a low of 29. Moving into Sunday, that high temperature will decrease to a high of 33 degrees. Monday will bring a high of only 20 degrees with a low of 4, so be prepared for that. Moving into Tuesday, we'll see a high of 18. Wednesday and Thursday will both peak out at 30 degrees with a low of 21 and 14 respectively. So hopefully we'll keep those winter flurries away, but that's a look at your 7-day forecast with mostly partly cloudy skies throughout the week. After the break, Megan Molaski will be in studio to talk about the fall play.
Some things in your medicine cabinet are more dangerous than others. When it comes to prescription drugs, opioid pain medicines can be addictive and even deadly. Keeping unused opioid medicines in your home is risky. Half the people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or family member. Over 100 Americans die every day from an opioid overdose, and millions are addicted to opioids. But you can be part of the solution to the opioid crisis. Go through your medicine cabinets, drawers, anywhere you keep unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups, and find out how to dispose of them safely. Visit fda.gov/drug disposal for details and remove the risk of opioids in your home.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Oh, hi, Corgi. Welcome back. Last week we brought you the story of the upcoming play, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Joining with me now is Megan Molaski, the director of the show. Hello, how are you today?
How are you?
All right, so can you tell us a little bit about the overview of the play?
Yeah, so the play, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, is about a boy, 15 years old, named Christopher Boone, who goes on an adventure to find out who killed his neighbor's dog. And during the play, we kind of live inside of Christopher's head, and we get to see how a child with Asperger's syndrome really starts to think and see the world. So,
okay, all right, that's really awesome. So why did you actually choose this show?
So The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime was a show that was kind of important to me since I'm a social work major and I work with all types of people. Coming across this play, I really thought it was special to kind of intertwine both of my passions of how can we get people to think differently about the world and then turn it into a play. So, yeah, that's why I chose it.
Yeah, so it definitely has a lot of involvement with you and personally, but how does this play kind of have involvement and really significance with Wartburg, and how does it set it apart from previous Wartburg shows?
Sure. Well, previous shows on Wartburg campus have been more geared towards the comedy side. They've been fun, they've been loving, and this is kind of a different turn of events. It's still fun, but it's very different. It's not a comedy. There's definitely some comedy relief in it. I would say it's more of a melodrama.
Yeah.
And of course it has a dog in it, so
Yes,
that's different.
definitely. Yeah. All right. So why do you think theater is important on campus?
Yeah, theater is important on Wartburg campus because it brings students to see a new side of themselves, and it gets them to really embrace differences and how other people live. It's just something fun that they can get into. It's really brings in new perspectives to students. It gets them involved on campus, and yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Yeah. So obviously we have someone special in the studio today. So what kind of role does Benji play?
Yes, this is Benji. He's my foster dog. He is from Retrieving Freedom. So he has a very small part in the play. I don't want to give it too much away, but you will see him in the second act. So
Awesome. Yeah. All right. And then why should audiences come see the show?
Yes. I think it's very important to come see the show. It's not only a play, but it's a kind of a way to see how other people think, especially with Asperger's syndromes. You can learn a lot from the play, and it's just a good time. I would say it's family friendly. There's some parts where I would be like, oh, maybe not, but definitely family friendly. It's fun. There's dogs. I don't know. It's a good time.
Right. Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio today and bringing a special guest with you. The Curious Case of the Dog in the Nighttime will be tonight and tomorrow night at 7:30 in the McCaskey Lyceum. Tickets are $10 and entry is free for those with a student ID. After the break, Annika Wall will be in the studio to break down campus sports.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Welcome back. I'm Annika Wall with a look at sports, and this week there's plenty to talk about. Earlier this week, 4 Knights earned conference honors, including 2 named Athlete of the Week. Joe Freiberger was named the Male Athlete of the Week, while Karina Collett was named the Female Athlete of the Week. Both runners were named the conference MVP for cross country. Additionally, the male and female squads were conference champions. This was Freiberger's first MVP distinction and Collett's second. Women's volleyball also swept honors. Middle blocker Kylie Bildstein was named the Offensive Player of the Week for the second time this season. She notched a career-high 20 kills in Wartburg's 5-set win over Northwestern St. Paul and leads the conference in blocks with 111 on the season. Libero Katie Foster was named the Defensive Player of the Week, racking up her 14th total honor. She tallied 63 digs over 3 matches last week. It's been a busy week for Wartburg volleyball overall, but one of their junior members has cause to celebrate. Katie Foster has been named American Rivers Conference MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. As rare as it is to take home both honors in the same year, Foster is also the first ever libero in conference history to win the MVP award. In addition to conference recognition, Foster has been nationally competitive in her numbers and sits 4th in Division III in the entire NCAA in digs and ranks nationally in digs per set. In addition to Foster, both Kylie Bildstein and Jamie Williamson were named All-Conference. Claire Marsh was also tabbed as an honorable mention. A number of soccer players, both men and women, earned All-Conference distinctions as well. For For the men, seniors Riley Close and Nathan Feiner were named to the all-conference team. They were the only two Knights to start in all 18 games. Both notched 1 goal in either defender or midfielder roles. Sophomore Kevin Dookie earned honorable mention honors and led the Knights with 5 goals. For the women, 6 Knights earned ARC distinctions. Zoe and Sarah Campbell led a Wartburg defense that allowed only 5 goals in conference competition. Sarah led the Knights with 8 assists in the regular season and earned ARC Defensive Player of the Week multiple times. Sophomore Haley Osborne also contributed 3 goals from the back line. Offensively, Kate Lears, Joy Smith, and Gabby Corday were all conference honorees. Lears led the ARC with 30 points off 13 goals and 4 assists. It may have been frosty Wednesday night, but the Wartburg women's soccer team was on fire. The women plowed over the University of Dubuque by scoring 4 goals in a shutout victory. Emily Fontana scored the first goal of the match and her second of the season. 10 minutes later, Molly Close scored her first of 2 goals. After another goal by Close, Annie Place scored her 3rd goal of the season to put the Knights up 4-0. As a team, Wartburg outshot Dubuque 22-2 and had an 8-3 corner kick advantage. Dubuque previously bested the Knights in regular season play. The Knights will host Luther College tomorrow. The Norse bested the top-seeded Loris Duhawks 3-2 on Wednesday. Wartburg beat Luther 1-0 in the regular season. Looking to upcoming sports now, the Wartburg College winter sports teams, namely men's and women's basketball and wrestling, get set to begin their seasons. Night Vision News' Ryan Riebenacker breaks down the big storylines following the winter sports programs this year.
Across the board this winter, it seems every athletic program at Wartburg College is focused on one thing: domination. While the fall sports like volleyball, women's soccer, and football are all likely to punch their tickets to the NCAA tournament, the winter sports wait for no one. Looking first to wrestling, the number 3 ranked Knights are focused on making an impact after finishing just 6th nationally in the 2019 NCAA championships. As a program, the Knights have won 14 national championships, and this year will be defined by aiming for number 15. With top returners including Kyle Briggs, Brock Rathbun, and Chris Rumpf, the Knights begin the season with 6 wrestlers ranked and a fresh mindset.
Attitude, the level of effort, and just really coming in fired up. You know, guys are coming in every single day on a mission. And it's something we talk about, you know, early on, but these guys are living that. You know, they're coming in every day excited to learn. And, you know, it's a group of 23 new guys in our program. And that's a lot, you know, for us. But it's 23 guys that have bought in right away. And no one's in a hurry to get out of that room at the end of practice.
After 4 straight years of NCAA tournament appearances and an Elite 8 appearance this past season, the women's basketball team opens the season with their highest ranking in program history, a staggering 3rd in the nation. This year's team is headlined by reigning conference MVP Emma Gertis and returns 4 starters in Tori Hazard, Amanda Brainerd, and Allie Conrad. For the Knights, they're looking to continue the system they found success in last season, spread the load.
That's what I like about our team, is the balance that we have, and it can be somebody different each night. And I think you really saw that in games last year where a player like Emma might have scored 6 points in some games, but she does so many other things, and we've got a lot of different girls that can score it, and so we're really not worried about who those people are going to be. Just that we think we have a lot of weapons and we're hard to guard each night.
Men's basketball comes into the season with plenty of new faces. After graduating their top 3 scorers, the Knights will look for a bolstered roster from returners like Ryan Stulkin, Max Smith-Drehos, and Camry Moore, as well as fostering young talent all around. While the men's team is not nationally ranked, they will look to follow up a strong conference season last year, which saw them qualify for the conference tournament. They opened the season ranked 4th in the ARC.
We're in the infant stages, as you will, and simply because we have more inexperience than we've had in a long, long time.
Ryan Riebenacker, Night Vision News.
After the break, an unlikely therapy animal visits a nursing home.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry,
I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day. He's an incredible companion and my best friend.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool.
When I retired from the Navy, I found myself on a void in my life that had been filled by the people that I served with. Tommy really brought an important factor to my life. I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
You may be familiar with therapy dogs or therapy cats, but what about a therapy bull? A 2,000-pound therapy bull has been paying visits to an Osceola nursing home. Professional rodeo clown Jason Dent spent 3 years taming the animal. His first visits worried staff, but now he's got crowds awaiting his arrival every time, who apparently just can't get enough of this hunk of beef.
Looking back at today's top stories, Pinnacle's upcoming concert of Time and Space is set for release next week. The Cedar Falls Public Safety Office undergoes more changes, and Wartburg prepares for winter sports. Thanks for tuning in to Night Vision News.
To stay up to date with all of our Night Vision News content, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Thank you for joining us today. For Courtney Moser and Sophie Reeder, I'm Anna Kowal. Have a great week.